Okay.
We ready? Are we starting
Yeah,
now?
yeah, we're starting.
Okay.
Yeah. So, welcome to, I don't know which episode it is of Zeo Fucks Given. This is our podcast, and today our guest is Henry Coleman. Sounds like an old white man's name.
It is.
You know what I mean?
The blacks were slaves, so yeah, it's definitely a white person name. Definitely not from Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole full name is John Henry Lester Coleman. So
Oh my
that's
God.
4 white people names.
It's great when you apply for jobs,
Yeah, I always got the interview. I always got called in.
then you show up. They're like,
No.
ah.
So I mean, a lot of places, especially when I was younger, they were always looking for like the one black guy that could, be around and not make them feel uncomfortable. So
Like friendly one.
he said, "What? That's a job. Making white people feel comfortable is a job." Yeah.
Are you? How many? Are you the one black friend of like 12 white people? Like they share black friends? I have black friends, and then you interview like 15 of them. They all have this one black guy at the sales department that they share.
I think I was for maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for about 2 years. And it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. You said what?
For whom?
For me, and I never really antiquated to a comfortable level with the whites. I never really got, you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
I was never white enough to just kind of blend into whites, and I wasn't black enough to kind of just be, So
You're
it's
not
like,
black enough?
You said what?
You're not black enough?
I am now.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I am now, but
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
When I was still working in that gray area between.
Right. When I was just in the camera aperture, you're
I'm pretty
enough.
black.
Yeah.
We're talking about in social spaces.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily skin tone. Yeah, in skin tone,
But your material is also very urban.
Now it is.
It used not to.
Nah, it was when I first started, it was 80% white rooms. It was mostly white rooms.
I can't picture you as Jordan Peele. It's really.
I used to be. Oh, okay, yeah. I used to be.
Yeah.
I
You used to be?
Yeah, I used to be.
What changed?
They weren't paying me. I wasn't moving
Okay.
up. I wasn't moving up. I was featuring. I was headlining some clubs, but I wasn't really a token black. I wasn't like a Michael Che or like a Roy Wood Jr. or like.
Let's talk about token black for a second. You're already
let's
name
stop
dropping. Yeah.
Okay. Or like a.
What's the definition of them? And
Jay Farrow.
yeah, and how to become them if you are a black man or woman and you want success.
And you want success
Yeah.
in white spaces?
Yeah, that
Never-
means success in general.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, but
they
it-
still control things.
You want
Yeah.
success.
Yeah.
Don't never be unhappy about anything. Always be super positive. Always be very upbeat, very nice.
Yeah.
Act like you never learned about slavery. Like, huh? Whites are bad? Never. Just have a great outlook on life and be open and broad to
Have a good energy.
good energy and
Positive energy.
positive energy, and just kind of be. Blackness teaches the exact opposite of that. Blackness is like, because black people don't own anything physically. Like we don't own a lot. We don't own land. We don't own stuff. I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah.
So, we control spaces. We control social spaces. So when you come around us, because we don't physically own the area, we'll just make you uncomfortable for not understanding the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, well,
Yeah.
do you know you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. White people own stuff, so they're not as controlling around their social environment. They're just like, just be calm, just be cool, just be a.
Is that what Chris Rock said? People who own the least shit gotta talk the most shit.
Yeah. I mean, did he say that?
Yeah.
Okay,
If you
yeah.
have a
I
lot
agree.
of shit, just can't say.
So to
nothing.
answer your question, how do you be successful as a black person around whites? It's just be very happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
Be very smiley and.
I'm thinking about Michael Che's stuff. He's like, he had this phase of like, he's always amused.
What you mean?
Like he's not angry, you know what I mean? Like even when he's like attacking a certain subject matter, he's like, this is amusing to him. Does it make sense? It's like not threatening, you know?
It's a fake.
It's more sarcasm.
It's a snarky intellect. It's like it's like this wittiness. Black people feel, we don't think. And you know what I'm saying?
Black people don't think.
We don't lean.
Yeah.
We don't speak from thought. We speak from feelings. So when I see a black man communicate from like this witty place in his mind, I'm like, oh, he don't hang around with it. These niggas ain't listening to this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you watch my comedy, it's very emotion and passionate. You know, it's like almost like I didn't have a thought. There's no filter between my brain and my mouth, and I just let it come out.
This is my question. Like, do platforms beep the N-word if black people say it? I'm serious.
I have to beep it for my stuff to go out.
Okay, so they beep it. They do beep it.
Yeah, they do beep it.
Okay, because they can't really, the AI can't tell like who's saying it. I guess.
think they can.
They can.
I think they can say it.
How?
I think they can tell if it's a black or white. No, they actually hire people to review content.
Right. That's
YouTube,
interesting.
Instagram, all them. They actually hire people to, human beings to sit there and review stuff that's being posted.
So if you look ambiguous, if you had like 1/8 black, you probably, it depends on how light skinned you are.
You can say the word N-word?
No, like for the person who reviewed the clips to be like,
okay,
you can say it, you can't say it.
I don't think that's
for the algorithm.
I don't think there's a specific social rule in a rule book of who is allowed to and who isn't allowed to say it. I think we kind of govern that as a public.
Gotcha.
I don't think you should say it.
Yeah. I said it already before you came here, so
Okay,
it's all
sure.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
I released it.
So did I answer your question? Your first question?
Yeah, you answered my question.
What was my answer to your question?
You were talking about black is a feeling. Being black is a feeling. And you're talking about how to be successful around whites as a black person.
Yeah.
Entertainer, or whatever, in general.
Yeah, it's just to be successful around whites, you have to be inclusive and very positive.
Very positive.
Very positive and open to white people really want to feel like they feel they have your best interests in mind and that they're good whites.
Right.
We're good whites. We're good, well-meaning whites. We just happen to be in a weird situation where we're way more successful than you are. But we're going to try to help you the best way we can.
Yeah. Do they help you?
You said what?
Do they help you guys?
Me? No, they don't help me at all. No, I don't get any help.
But that might be the kernel of the situation. It's like if you want to be successful, you kind of have to gaslight them into doing things to make them feel good about themselves in order to advance your career. You know what I mean?
I don't dislike whites.
It's a great start. However,
okay. How do we? I think sometimes they can be disingenuous in their, like, a lot of black comedians have benefited from white comic racism, right?
Stereotyping or racism?
When Joe Rogan said the N-word, right? Then they start hiring a bunch of black, all of a sudden they Tony started getting a lot of blacks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're not racist. We're good whites.
Yeah.
Don't we have some blacks around here to show these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to the comedy store, like, all these blacks are hanging out.
Yeah.
And like, if one of the whites go too far with what they say, they go, no, we're inclusive. We got some blacks around here.
I was tight with.
Yeah. Let's get Ian Edwards out here. Let's get you know what I'm saying? Don't we got some blacks hanging out?
Yeah.
So
don't we have some blacks hanging out?
Don't we got some blacks hanging around here? We could purport to let these people know. So, but those opportunities weren't occurring without the white deficit. You know what I'm saying? Without, before Louis was masturbating on people, you just went and saw 3 white people. After the masturbation thing, you saw a black. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in entertainment, we're still only getting the opportunities based off of
so you think Louis should nut more?
You said what?
Louis should nut more.
I'm not saying I'm not saying anybody individual. I'm saying the doors to the white heaven only
yes, keep going.
Only open if and when there's a white that does something inappropriate as a way of like a apology.
Right.
And that's what I like about like the Trumps and the racists. It's because, so here's the difference between racist whites and quote unquote liberal whites, right? Racist whites reward you when they're mean or they're cruel. They reward you on the back end with something. You'll get something, you know, whatever it is. They'll just kind of make it up for you in a weird way if you just shut up about it, right? The liberal whites believe they're fair
Already.
Yeah. So you don't deserve anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you complain about it, they're just like find a way to exile you or just kind of get you outside of there.
They think they're the ally already. Yeah,
so they kind of then all of a sudden you'll just be positioned out on the outside of the luxury of their arm length.
That's interesting.
So when I say I don't like I don't not like white people, I want to be able to, just like in my comedy, give my realistic prognosis of how they operate without being seen as negative or condescending, or I just want to say this is what it is.
Do you still strive to success in the white space?
Not at all.
Or you give up already? Or you?
I gave up 10 years.
You did?
10, 11 years ago.
What caused that transition?
I just like I said, I never saw myself. I was on stage one night and I was killing, and I was working hard. I was murdering the crowd, and you know, yelling, screaming, jumping around, you know, doing my best blackness for them. And you know, I was like, oh, you're good. And then the white guy came up behind me and just kind of whispered into the mic and just was destroying. I was like, okay, this isn't. I'm not in their skin in this social space.
Walk me through a white-friendly black routine.
Give me a name.
Yeah, just like, let's say it's a 10-minute routine. Just do the outline. First, you talk about blank. And then
a comedy routine.
Yeah.
We'll go through a comedy routine. A comedy routine is supposed to be how you start a comedy set is hot topic, current events.
Yeah.
So whatever's
Trump just got shot.
Yeah, there we go. It's a regular joke.
Yeah.
And then you go to your own family, friends, relationships. What's going on in your personal life? My mother has cancer, whatever it is. That's a joke about that.
And they're like, oh.
Yeah, and then you do a relationship joke, and then you do something sexual. So it's the same. It's the same. It's just that if I'm doing for whites, my temperament is I'm going to talk a lot slower. You know what I'm saying? A lot more smiling, a lot more big eyes. Make sure my eyes are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Chris Reed. Everybody has the big eyes. You gotta have the big eyes.
Chris Reed has a big. That's
whites.
That's a gremlin eyes.
Since we're just the whites love the big eyes. They love the the excited look. Nicole Bear. They love it.
You just want them to feel safe.
No, it's not safe. You gotta feel. White people gotta feel safe and excited. Who's the other guy? He whispers. The fat guy. He was fat, then he was skinny, then he was fat.
Ron Funches?
Yeah. They love it.
Because he's like kind of he's goofy and he's kind of nerdy. It's the Jordan Peele camp. I wouldn't say they're the same, but it does make sense. Like them Dragon Ball.
How do you breed those kind of blacks though? Like where are these people being like? Okay.
PS Nintendo.
Okay.
Nintendo console and some Dragon Ball Z. About 12
So
volumes.
so what similarities? Since we're pointing, like, what similarities do you see in these blacks?
I mean, I can only tell you from my own experience because I'm a nerd and I go to video game tournament.
Okay.
I go see virgins play video games against each other.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I've been to this place called Evo, fighting game. So like Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball, like Street Fighter, all that. All the champions are black.
Okay.
And they are all the type that I was talking about. They're afraid of sunlight, which is unheard of for a black man. Okay. They're afraid of sunlight. They're all ashy. They don't look you in the eye. They all wear glasses and they don't like basketball. But they can do a trick shot with PS5.
Okay. So socially awkward.
Yeah. But they're dominating. Black people are still dominating esports. Do you know that?
Very good.
Yeah.
I think there's a tunnel vision and a focus that you have to be able to have a deep focus, like a REM focus, that comes from, that's created from the trauma that's in our culture.
Yeah.
Where we're able to channel, specific gifts into like things, more so than other people can.
I mean, do you know, because I was thinking about this issue a lot, not for Black community, like for certain community, like Asian community, right? Certain trauma is so communal, you kind of normalize it and glorify it.
Okay. Yeah,
everyone's getting beat up by their parents, but they're like, man, I'm only successful. I'm only having this computer science job now because my mom used to beat me with a, with a whip daily, and then they're like, wear it as a badge of honor. And they're like, my mom beat me way worse than your mom. Like, shut the fuck up, I broke 6 ribs, so shut up if you got slapped around a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like so prevalent. Like, for example, like my mom's kind of like verbally abusive. He slapped me like once. Like I wasn't,
but it was
like,
verbal.
Yeah, I wasn't perpetually beat up like my friends, like daily. That's like their daily, Like mine is like once in a while, recreational beating. Okay? And because of that, my mom always, like, when I was like talking about, like, look, growing up, I wasn't very happy because I don't think I was treated well. She's like, but I never beat you like the neighbors or your friend. I'm like, and I was like, she's right. Like,
but your trauma still, your abuse still matters. Like, it doesn't mean it.
But I was beat pretty. I was beat the least among my friends.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she's like, "We're parents of the year. We don't even beat you daily. Like, what are you talking about?" Is there the same thing? I talk about all that. Like, is there the same thing in the Black community? Like, because certain trauma or things are just so common, you're like, yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be. When you question it, like, they're like, what's your problem?
Yeah. Like, yeah, of course we had the beatings, the stench cord, the bloodbaths, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's. I think we're trying to get away from it, but it's very common, for people to talk about their trauma like that. Like, yeah, it's casual.
Yeah.
Casual.
What's considered something that's not casual among other people, but it's very casual?
In the Black community?
Yeah.
A lot of incest, a lot of child molestation.
Really?
A lot of child molestation.
I didn't know about the incest part.
You said what?
I don't know about the incest part.
A lot of kids playing sexual games early. A lot of early sexualizations. Black boys are almost groomed by other boys or little older boys to chase girls.
Right.
9, 10, they're already 8, 9, 10. The conversations are already like, have you started having sex yet? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow. That's
like,
why you have 3 kids when you were 17, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, because it's. I'm just saying through my experience. I haven't seen where we allow our children to. And we shame, if you're 17, 18 and you haven't had sex or you're not sexual, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, so those boys you talking about, it's like, no other blacks will know them. Like, huh? No, we out here getting pussy, man. What's wrong with you?
You don't have child support? You're 19, you don't have child support?
I already got 5 kids, man. What's
like, what are you, so gay? Yeah. Wow. So that's, like, what do you think is the reason? Because it's kind of like, I don't know.
It's attached to a macho. It's like a comment of age. It's in the music. There's a lot of different stuff that I probably escapes my understanding. But it's very cultural. It's very like the sexualizing Black children and kind of being like having that you need to be out there getting chicks at 10 or 11. Like even how Black mothers talk to their sons or older Black women to young, like, he gonna be a heartbreaker. All the ladies gonna love him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My song got a long dawn. You don't use the word dawn.
I don't know if they say that. But I mean, but that kind of grooming kids to be, players and heartbreakers and, lover boys and lover girls is.
So are you saying R. Kelly is just like a symptom?
R. Kelly, a
symptom of.
It's not a symptom. He was just what was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember
he's probably confused. Like, why is everything?
He was like, yeah, like he was what was. Like when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I remember old men picking up girls from school, And I remember girls bragging about, like when I was in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, girls used to brag about having boyfriends that were in college or grown. You know what I'm saying?
What year was that?
98, 99?
Is that like a black thing, or it's just back in the days?
All I know is the story of what I was around.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't go to enough schools to know what other communities were going to, but I knew the girls I knew were bragging about, you know, he was in 9th grade going, my boyfriend has a job. My boyfriend is picking me up. I'm like, you were... then you know, leaving school and watching a girl get in a car with a grown man that wasn't her father, or watching her get in a car with some boys. I was like, hold on, those dudes are adults.
Wow.
And then I was, you know, when I got into my 20s and I saw dudes do that, I was like, man, no, why are you going up to the high school? You should be, your 20s, you should be dating women in their 20s.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's easier to impress a 16-year-old when you're 23.
Yeah.
Than a 23-year-old when you're 23. The 23-year-olds
I got
looking
a job at Wendy's. Oh, Wendy's.
like all the women are dating up in age until they get into their like late 30s, 40s, and then they start reversing back to the 20s. Mm-hmm. The 35-year-olds are starting to go to like 26-year-olds and 27-year-olds. Yeah, it's weird. It's a bunch of little weird stuff we got going on over here. This
interesting.
Blackness is just a.
That's why I'm interested. I'm very interested in like specific group of people, including my own.
Okay.
Because like the situations.
So do Asians do that too? Like a lot of.
No, the opposite.
What you mean?
Like. I mean, it depends on what kind of Asians, right? Like, okay. I'm sure there's some similarities across the board. I'm a fob, fresh off the boat, which means I was born and raised and educated in China. I'm an immigrant, so I'm not like first generations. Okay. So you talk about those first generations. Their experiences are slightly different, but I think we consider academia way more important, and we're way more pragmatic. Okay, I'm not saying things are not sexually driven because we're humans. That should be the same, but for example, when a Asian girl is selecting a partner or mate, she will value jobs, stability, credit score, way more than those macho stuff. Oh, that's why you see a lot of, including me. That's why you see a lot of Asian girls with nerdy white guys. Okay, because they don't see that being, not masculine enough. That does like being masculine is not our top priority. Yeah, it's about like, do you have a stable job? Are you practical? Are you kind? Also, we don't like threatening guys. We don't like guys that looks threatening.
No, the dudes that got the chicks that weren't fat when I was in school were macho. You bullies, beating somebody up, or selling drugs, very aggressive, a lot of aggression, got to be very aggressive. That like the kind of social alpha, right? Person come in the room, talk big, ready to be crazy. Those are dudes, and so they would get most of the women, and then so. But that's the guys you talked about would kind of like just have to, pick off whoever's left.
It's not like sloppy seconds, you gotta have a good credit score, and that's kind of hard to strive for. That's the thing. That's the problem about like both of these, right? If you're an Asian man or woman and you're like out of the norm, like you're not good at math, or you want to pursue rapping or whatever, something that's not income generating, then you're outcasted immediately, and then you're facing that kind of like displacement, right? Feeling. I guess it's the same for like a black person. If you're into, I don't know, collecting mushrooms and paint
comedy, them. Being an artist, because I'm an artist, I'm a creator.
But at least you're like stand-up comedy, at least to the outsiders, kind of cool and smooth. No? To the outsiders.
With black people, everything is cool once you start making money at it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when I first started comedy, I wasn't making money. Mm-hmm. So I was
making money now?
I'm doing well enough to.
Do you make a living like 100% on this? That's crazy. That's a great achievement. You're like the first person I know.
You so what that's making a living?
Yeah, you're like one of the few people I know who just 100% make a living out of stand-up comedy. Yeah.
But at first I wasn't. So, and I was coming from a place, dating where, like you said, everything was about, what are you earning? Can you provide? Is this a stable lifestyle income type thing? So, but now it's getting to be more stable. But yeah. At first, it wasn't.
Are you a macho person?
Am I a macho guy?
Yeah.
What do
like
you mean?
you were
Explain
talking
it.
about the stereotypes, like whatever. Like
No,
growing
no,
up,
I'm an
are you the
introvert.
one who's getting
No, I'm an introvert.
girls or whatever?
I mean, I got chicks, but I had to figure out how to get chicks.
But your material is full of
What do you mean?
yeah, like I've seen all your clips.
Uh huh.
You smashed all the single mothers. That's the first takeaway. You got some baby mamas. There's
Some baby mamas,
and
single
then
mothers.
you smashed other baby mamas. It's not your baby mama.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems to be. You say you pay rent with dick.
That's funny.
Is,
Well, yeah, we talk about material. Yeah.
There's truth in everything, you know. You have
Yeah.
so many jokes about that. So it means you, at some point, you unlocked the chest of pussy.
I figured out how to
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah. What is your game?
You talking about
Break it down to
how
me.
do I get the ladies?
Yeah. Since you have so many, that's why you have so many
I don't
jokes about them.
Oh, I mean,
Different jokes.
about getting the ladies. It's I don't have to seek it out as much as I used to. I'm on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm a public figure. Women women like to see you display your talent.
Right. They just throw your pussy at you.
It's not
like
necessarily a
frisbees,
throw
yeah.
pussy. It's a now I know how not to turn them off.
Yeah.
Like before, I think I talked too much. When I met a lady, I would probably talk too much. I would probably, outside of the comedy space, where like when I'm on stage or I'm at a show,
You're
I'm
not
that guy.
listening.
So like now I know how to just shut up or say what I need to say when like now I know the ebb and flow of it. It's not necessarily a game. It's just like I know what not to do. I know how not to run people away.
Advices for
Young comedians.
young guys who have problem, who's introverted.
Getting ladies.
Getting laid.
I did have advice to young guys. Just be well manicured. Just be well manicured. Take showers. Take a lot of showers.
Take shower.
I'm saying, like, you want to get ladies, take showers, smell good.
Yeah.
Keep your nails clean. Keep your toenails clean. Keep your hair cut. Make sure your teeth are okay.
Yeah. Don't give her a yeast infection after a fingering session.
You said who?
Don't give her a yeast infection after a fingering session. You gotta trim your nails.
Don't finger chicks.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Why?
Don't do that.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Why are you fingering somebody? Who fingers people?
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
What is your beef with fingering?
Who fingers people?
People do all the
You
time.
finger?
I don't finger people.
I mean, I'm saying you get fingered. No?
Oh yeah, of course.
My Jesus. Why?
What? Why are you so put off by this? You don't stay talking about eating ass, and you're like fingering. Like
who fingers people? Like, no, we are engaged in a sexual activity for eventual ejaculation.
Yes,
I can't nut out of my finger.
but you can. It's a start. You know what? I once was with a guy with erectile dysfunction.
And that's what he did. He fingered you.
Yeah.
That's sad.
He does like bouldering, like indoor rock climbing.
Okay.
So his fingers are actually very strong.
How long did it work? How long did
8 weeks?
you and he broke up with him?
Yeah. He also has a dog shit personality. Isn't that crazy? You think you will make up your wimpy dick with
Being
good
nicer.
personality? Yeah, it's not that either. Whiny, very whiny.
Did you tell him that?
No, I should.
I mean, you have to now. You're not. That's somebody else's job, I guess. Whoever he's dealing with.
Yeah. It's not good. But to him, that's the only thing he has. I'm glad he rock climbs.
My advice is just
Don't finger
don't
people.
finger chicks. Dick and pussy, sir.
Yeah.
That's the rule around here, friend.
Don't finger chicks. Wow. I mean, like I said, I really like your comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about you getting stronger and you figuring out how to get your word sequences down.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down every single joke that I have. I try to develop it. I try to highlight the punchline and tags with 2 different color whatever highlights. And then I try to visually see how much of the setup and how much of it is the payoff. And if you see a block of text is not highlighted, it means I'm meandering or
Talking too much.
talking a lot of nonsense, right? But still, I'm when I saw your comedy, I mean, it comes from years of experience. How many years have you been doing this?
Well, I mean,
at least 15, right?
Yeah, 20 years.
20, okay.
But what I'm
see
saying
it.
is, in LA, a lot of that is like the pre-stage preparation, but a lot of that work has to be done on stage too. You have to get good quality audiences. In LA, you don't get a chance to get in front of the kind of quality audiences you need to get in front of to develop your act the way you need to develop it.
Yeah.
You need
too many shitty shows or edge lords in the fourth wall.
Too many workout spaces.
Yeah.
So I was telling you, I don't do actual jokes at those spaces.
Right.
I never do real jokes.
But when you're prepping,
I never do jokes. I'm curating for my set. When I do open mics, I do the fourth wall, or I do any kind of mics. It's just to feel myself speaking my thoughts to a crowd, so that I can just get used to getting outside of that. You know how we rehearse our material, and then when you go on stage, you're just regurgitating your comedy to the crowd, or you might have to stop and do some crowd work, and that's when you think. And then you go back to just acting out the jokes that you know in your mind that you should be doing.
Walk me through your process, because I watched a bit that you posted on Chocolate Sunday about the. It's so funny. It's like, can I get my soul back? That one.
Yeah.
But I actually saw another clip that you were doing. I believe it was earlier, and the version is slightly different. I assume that's an earlier version, because the one at the Laugh Factory is a lot more refined. And you cut off a lot of stuff, and you just kind of get to the point directly, but still not making people confused. It's a fine balance of like, that's the thing I'm struggling with, is you need a certain level of setup for people to understand your premise, because if you don't understand it, then the payoff doesn't matter, the punchline doesn't matter. But then you don't want to say too much, right? Then you're kind of diluting your own joke. But you seem to
over-explain it.
Yeah, you seem to be able to find the fine balance of like 1 or 2 sentences, or even sometimes you have like 2-5 words. Then people immediately understand what are you talking about, and then you can go straight to the punchline. Like I still have to spend time to explain the concept I'm trying to deliver.
I don't know if that's you or if that's just women.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Women have a very difficult time getting to the point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just getting to the point. And not and then wanting that point to land on soft ears, versus, you know, being able to go, they just like a father, like, you just need to know this.
You mean being assertive and being like
Matter
of fact
and assertive, like, you just need to know this, and I'm not explaining anything else. And so when I start thinking or people ask me to explain, I just say, tell me it's not funny. You know, go, what do you mean by that? Or if you have somebody yell out or something to the contrary, then you just don't like it.
Yeah.
This is the funny, and this is absolute, Bob. That's the funny. It's 8 words, that's the funny. And I stand on that.
And I see you refine that joke, because when you first say, I suck dick and I didn't make it, can I get my soul back? I think the other version, you was like, no refund policy.
Or something.
But then you didn't do that in the Laugh Factory one. You did an act out. You're like, we put you in a movie. Nobody liked you. That was so funny to me. But I picked that up. I'm like, okay, that must be the one that replaces no refund policy, because that's also a funny line. Yeah. But it's more of a statement than a situational.
I think because I did it at the one spot, the Too Funny Tuesdays. You probably saw the clip on there.
Yes. Is that the earlier version?
Yes, the earlier version.
Yeah,
and that was kind of me prepping for that, and that was more of a. And you got to understand, crowds are like people. You know, when you do this long enough, you do rooms long enough, every crowd is like a personality. That Too Funny Tuesdays audience is 100% black, but it's only maybe 30 or 40 people there. It's really like a workout-y, artistic space.
So yours is more loose. Like your set is a little bit more like,
that style that night, it was a lot more loose.
Yeah.
Whereas the Laugh Factory on Sunday is a lot more showcasey. The room is bigger. It's
very raunchy.
It's very louder. It's a lot more animated. And in that room, those people are so big in their personality. You have to be controlled with what you do, or they'll get away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like Sunday night, I played for at the YouTube Theater in Inglewood. It's about 4,500 people.
Right.
So
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Are you featuring or are you
No,
headlining?
I was that show was past Sunday.
Okay.
So I was opening the show.
Okay.
But with that amount of people, you got to be straight. Like you don't, you know what I'm saying?
I often find like theater shows actually easier. Most of the time, not all the time, but it's. I think.
But you
it's,
still have to be like you can't. You know, the more people, the more you got to be.
You got to talk to the back.
You got to be disciplined in your message. Your message
Right.
has to be right on.
Like pithy, like
Boop, boop.
succinct.
Yeah, you don't have time for. If it's a smaller, intimate space, I got a lot of time. You know, I'm doing an hour up in front of 100 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can let myself roam with my thoughts and play with my thoughts. But if I'm doing 15 minutes in front of 4,500 people, it's got to be very succinct.
So that joke about no refund, right? That one. How long have you been developing it? And what is the first version? And then how did you refine it? I'm very curious.
And that was that's actually just a hot topic. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a bit for my set. It came along during the P Diddy thing. You know, the P Diddy, the P, it was like earlier this year or later last year.
Got rated, yeah.
Where the P Diddy stuff was really hot.
Yeah.
And I like to get a hot joke on a platform. You know what I'm saying? That helped me get out there more. So that was a very quick turnaround process. Maybe I started working on the joke in November and getting ready to put it on the Laugh Factory stage by January or February.
Okay, so it's about like
a couple months.
Yeah.
And just kind of running it through the sets, running through my sets, to get it to the Laugh Factory.
Like how many drafts? I mean, I know it's maybe hard to pinpoint it, but how many drafts does it take for you to kind of get to the final version?
So how
like big drafts, big changes.
So here's how my sets. Here's how I develop my sets.
Yeah.
So I think of comedy. I think of jokes or a set. It's like every joke individually has a life of its own.
Yeah.
And a chain is only strongest as weakest link. So as I have a curating, I have a section where I'm just curating hot topics, current events, and new stuff that's kind of coming to the set. I have a core set of maybe 30 jokes.
Right.
30 jokes are just kind of in the set. That's whenever you see me on any given night, you'll see me do these core jokes.
Yeah.
And I have floating material that I'm kind of constantly curating to possibly bump out or replace.
Like
or
the
add.
testing ground. Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, like this is the pros and these are the amateurs. And for the jokes that haven't made it to the set yet, I give them 3 to 5 times on stage, any stage.
Real any stage or real stage?
I don't do jokes at mics.
Right.
So it's, any stage.
Okay. 3 to 5 times and you're like, okay, if something's not working, you're like,
I don't babysit it.
Yeah.
I get it, after
put it aside and think about it later, maybe. Yeah.
I 3 to 5 times and then it goes into the set. And then if I get it, if I put the joke in a set and I see myself not doing it or forgetting about it, I throw it away. If like my heart is just not in it no more, I'm just not passionate about it no more, the fire is just not there about it no more, then I get rid of it and I put another. I'm always curating a new batch of material to go into the set.
Do you record everything and listen back?
I hate the sound of my voice.
I know.
Like I'm gonna have to watch this to pick the, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to watch us.
Yeah.
But no.
But you just take mind notes on like what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
I let the crowd. I don't. For a long time, I kind of went off my feelings. I still know a joke is funny. I can feel it in my heart. It's funny. But I do let the crowd tell me. If the crowd has a joke, I just know they're screaming for and they love to hear or puts them in a good place, then I'll keep it. Even if I don't like it.
Yeah.
If it's a joke that just hits.
Yeah.
Like that time with the Weinstein and all molestation going on in Hollywood and all the rapes and stuff. That was just, the whole 6 months was just like a selling your soul period where like everybody's out here having this dialogue about, what it takes. And I mean, the truth is, it's true. Like no matter, you can have sex with whoever, but they can't make people love you and they can't make people buy tickets to see you. No matter whose dick you suck, that person doesn't have the power to make other humans.
And also to find the shortest shortcut dick, it's very hard. There's a thickets of different dicks.
Funny.
Some of them just lead you to a dead end. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, I sucked at this.
Yeah, I gotta kill that guy.
Nothing happened.
Now I gotta kill this
But
guy.
now that's the key. Like you play a video game, like, oh my god, this is the boss. I do this, I next level.
Next level.
You gotta, but nobody tell you. The dick is a dick. You know what I mean? They're all hanging there like, so to have the insight and judgment to have the dick session economy nailed down doesn't make sense.
It's you got to be perfect and still suck dick.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You can't be.
Most people's problem in Hollywood is not I gotta suck dick to get ahead. Is like whose dick? It's like where
And it's
do I find the opportune?
It's not just. I think it goes beyond whose. I think it goes beyond whose, because I've seen people go through the process. You know, find the dick, suck the dick, and still be regular. Like I know I haven't said any names, but I know these people.
Yeah.
You know, I walked among these people who have completed the whole soul selling process and still aren't. And it's the saddest thing. You know, not because that person didn't have power, it's just that nobody liked them. Like, truthfully, nobody liked them. So it's like, I was like, so my thing was like, before I do anything soul selling or like dick sucking wise, I wanted to curate my own fan base. Like, okay, let me make sure these people love me. Yeah. And if I have to, you know what I'm saying, cut off my arm, can I get $1 million on my own? Let me get $1 million on my own. Yeah, and then if it's gonna take sucking dick to get to 50 million, then okay.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you suck dick, still work at Jiffy Lube. Yeah.
Sad. But yeah, so I let the people tell me. I go up night after night after night, and I let the people. I do the beats, and I do more listening than I do talking. And what the people are laughing at is what I keep. Like I just like where are you triggering the most emotional response from the people? What is their hearts attached to? And that's what you write. You know, when you say something, you see people perk up, or you see people get energetic. You get a reaction from them. Then that's where you hone and write more and put more attention into. Interesting,
because I've seen a lot of your videos, and I like to study someone's sets in different stages. I've seen jokes that's not there yet too. Okay, the 240 views one. No. I love that joke, but I can tell that the premise is not clear enough. That kind of got people confused a little bit. It's the joke about your biggest fear is to survive a mass shooting. Okay. And they don't have your check ready. Okay, yeah. Because the concept itself is a little... I noticed, even including me watching that clip, was like, what? And then you explain it, and the jokes is really funny. But have you figured that one out yet?
No, not at the level. And it's that joke is probably going to go away.
Right. I do like that the punchlines are really funny where you're like, quick question. That's really funny. But just the beginning part,
the joke is going to go away because mass shootings, it hasn't been that many mass shootings. And it only, when you got shock material like that, you need fresh tragedy.
To fuel it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who got shot today?
Like if you got
how many kids?
You gotta when you do, you remember like when Kobe died and Ari Shaffir did the joke and about
the same day, I think.
Yeah, but it was like it blew him up because of the freshness of the death.
It's also not that funny.
But if we don't, funny don't matter. Yeah, you want people to know your name. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? As much backlash as he got from it, he also got a lot of bookings and work because he was fresh on people's minds. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind type thing. So the minute the news drops, you want to be the person with the crazy stuff to say about it to kind of ride that news cycle. So tragedy is just breeding ground for humor, and people like too soon, but the public is not sitting around just waiting for goodness. You know what I'm saying? People just don't like good food cooked. They like the food they like when they like it, whenever that is.
Right.
So
McDonald's.
Whenever it is. So we have to, you know, when something happens that connects with people's heart, we have to chase that ambulance to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's fucked up, but that's the kind of only way to do it.
But my curiosity is, have you figured out the setup part of that joke?
I don't, you know what?
In my opinion, I think that setup needs a little bit of a... Because I was thinking about how would I introduce that joke while keeping the punchline,
You funny.
I might make up a friend. I'm like, I have a friend who survived a mass shooting.
Oh, okay.
And
Make
he went
it personable.
back. He went back. They don't have his check ready.
Funny. You said make it personal.
You know, and then you continue with everything exactly the same. I don't know if it's gonna work, but when I watched that, because in the beginning it took me a second to be like, what do you mean they don't have your check ready?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, it's interesting the setup when it only like takes the crowd an extra second to kind of like, huh?
Get it? Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Not it's over. It's like it really stepping on your funny punchline later.
When I do it at the end of my set,
Not to criticize you, but yeah.
I do it at the end of my set, and it's a time filler, and it's a funny joke, but it's not a signature Henry.
But I love that joke
Like-
though. I'm just like, you gotta.
It's like the joke I did about black people being molested. That's kind of like a signature, or like the big girls, the Lizzo joke.
Yeah.
That's like signature me. Right now I'm doing jokes about being abusive and talking about my mother and my father. Those are like signature jokes that I just enjoy performing. The mass shooting joke is just kind of a like, okay, I'm at the end.
But it's so funny.
I've shown you, I prepared a meal. I feel like I'm a chef. You got the salad, you got the bread.
This is the dessert.
I brought the meat, and this is just me going right before I say thank you, good night.
Right.
And those last jokes can just be whatever. You know, if I've given you a quality hour, or if I give you a quality 40 minutes, and you really laughed hard, you know, this now that I'm getting to the twilight of it, and we've, you know, are you fucking and all? Like, you going home? What kind of night was it? You know what I'm saying? Okay, you coming in? All right, great. Let me lock the door, and you know, we not fingering.
Yeah. No fingering.
It's fucking over here. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those jokes that kind of like lets the crowd know I can do this and I do this, but it's not from the core of my ability. It's just kind of like I just need it. It's a placeholder joke.
Right.
So
man, even your placeholder is better than a lot of people's closer.
I'm trying to. We were talking about selling tickets, and that's what I'm trying to get to. You know, curating a fan base.
Yeah.
To perform for people that, you know, study the craft like we do, or at least interested in it, because it's just a lot more fun performing for people that understand what we're doing.
Are you afraid of the fact that you're not palatable enough?
What you mean for the whites?
Yeah, for the whites and for like comedy fans, because like my material is a little bit on the darker side.
Okay.
But I tend to like dark comedy, like pun intended. But I like your stuff. I love your stuff.
Okay.
But that's not a good sign. I have a very strong.
Like that doesn't mean you're gonna make it. Okay.
No, because I have a very strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, jaded. Yeah.
Not jaded. Like I don't laugh at 99% of the things. They're too tame for me. You're not tame enough. I've seen people who are way tamer. Their career is going way better. I'm like, what the fuck? You have a joke about
I get
nothing.
It.
Absolute not. And
But
your stuff is so real, so edgy.
But there's a relatability.
Yeah.
And there's people buy what they can relate to.
True.
And the truth is there are way more C students in this world than A and B students.
Yeah.
So, and the C students are the ones that are buying tickets. So if you got 100 people in the room and you got 100 A students, and I'm an A student, you're an A student. Oh no, you got 10 A students. I only got 10 people paying to see me.
Yeah.
Because it's only 10 other.
Yeah.
But if you're a C student, you know what I'm saying, from 70 to 90 or 65, you know, you got 30 people at your show.
Yeah.
So I just think I'm cooking high end.
Have you ever worried about that? Because even I, like, you know, like I'm very green compared with you, but sometimes I can see certain material, the subject matter itself, it's putting people off, and once they're put off, they're not with you.
Period.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I just know, like, this crowd, they're not gonna buy any of it. It doesn't matter what I do.
Funny.
But like I have to constantly struggle with, like, do I wanna, you know, throwing a little bit silly stuff to make it more palatable across the board, or just keep it real. Like, this is the jokes I wanted to talk about, but then the whole set will be too edgy or one note. Some people may argue. I don't think you have that problem because you're more seasoned, but still, you're not for everybody.
So it comes. Who's
Sorry,
booking you? I mean,
it sounds like I'm criticizing you.
No.
Yeah.
No, how you answer this question and how you begin to get to answer this question is you when I walked in, you said, your audiences are black.
Yeah.
So that answers my question.
Right. That's your audience base.
That's my audience base is black. They don't think, for the people that are paying to see me or end up seeing me, they don't think I'm that tame.
Right.
If I was like when Obama was trying to get elected, they was like, you remember he was like, he had this long speech at first, and then the power of hope, right?
Yeah.
And then after 3 months, it was like blah 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 hope.
Yeah.
And then like 2 months before the election, it was just hope.
Yeah.
Right. You have to get down to.
Yeah.
If I was trying to really trying to reach a broader crowd, yes, I could probably redesign myself, and redesign my act.
But what is more important to you? Comedy integrity or reach? I
think you gotta make money to do this.
Yeah.
Like you said, people that make money can get better. It's harder to get better when you're not making money because you just have to quit.
Yeah.
You have to go to work and you have to quit. So yeah, I have had to, just like now when I'm opening, it's like I'm not headlining, I'm opening the show. My first 20 minutes has to be pretty clean. Yeah. And I slowly indoctrinate you into, you know what I'm saying? I can't come right out going, probably got fucked in the mouth by a man if you're angry. I can't just, because they don't know me. Yeah. So I have to come out, kind of.
Ebola AIDS.
I would love to be able to start the show like that, but I can't. So I have to come out and, bring them slowly, and then by the time they get to those jokes, they're like, "What the fuck did he just do?"
Yeah. You don't show up. You don't open yourself up. Anybody got a booty hole found out?
Yeah. That's not. No, it's no. So you have to backdoor them. Like, no, get them more comfortable. So yeah.
But still, your general note is still on the edgy side.
Yeah, but that's the artist's price. Mm-hmm. Just like when you listen to a musician or you listen to an album, they might say, "Yeah, well, this album was more for me." Yeah. I want to put something out more for my core fans, the people that really, really enjoy what I do. And then I made a commercial album. So I think I kind of do that too.
I like the fact that most of your jokes you take risks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the only way to keep it fun.
I don't like people who just take like. When I say tame, it's like so safe. It's just like.
But some people are safe people though, and I don't. Yeah. Just like the Run Funches and the Nicole Byers and I don't see them as abandoning the black culture or being anti-nigga. I more see them as like they're just. Are
you saying they're African Americans?
They are a class of. They are a shade of black. They're not anti-black. They're a shade of black. So. It just so happens that there's more luxury that comes with that shade.
Like mocha.
You get the experience, white heaven. But no, that's the artist's job. So if you want to work more, you have to look at your set and go, okay, am I getting booked to places I want to get booked at? How do I mirror? What are the comics doing that are getting to the levels or getting to the spaces that I want to be in? And you go, how do I at least play? You got to play some of the games just to start to get into those rooms, to get into those spaces. And maybe your voice reverts back, or maybe your voice doesn't as you begin to, and you start having ambition and you're like, I want to do more than these open mics. I want to do more than these just little bullshit rooms, these little garages or whatever.
Have you ever need to like make sacrifice or make compromises?
What you mean?
Like what we talked about. To kind of, let's say, castrate your own set to make it fit a certain space. Yeah. And then you have no problem doing that.
I have no problem doing it. I mean, because I have to work, like if I'm opening for somebody or I'm on a show where the promoter's like, well, we need you to do this, and this, and that, and I need the money, But this is a night I don't get to do my hits that I want to do. But as an artist, do I know how to go out there and just make people laugh? I know how to make people laugh, period. I would prefer to make them laugh with the darker, edgier stuff.
In your own way.
I would prefer to make them laugh my own way.
Yeah.
But if it's just making a crowd laugh, yes, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Squeaky clean, no curse words, nothing to make you feel uncomfortable.
I've never seen clips like that.
You saw one?
Give me a clean
I'm
joke
gonna send one to you, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Do it.
I think you once you learn,
here's the difference between man and woman.
Once
You
learn
ever
your
got
art,
married for
once
20
you learn
years
your
and you don't
art,
fuck no more?
once you learn your like cruise ship comedy or corporate comedy or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like during the holidays, you know, different jobs have, you know, oh we need a comedian to come perform for us at Jiffy Lube, and can you do 10 clean minutes for $5,000?
You open with eating ass. yeah. For Jiffy Lube, you know.
So no, I know how to. I prefer to make people laugh the way I want to make them laugh, but no, I know how to be professional. You know what I'm saying?
And you were talking about selling tickets.
Yeah.
And being good are separate things.
Two separate things.
Yeah.
Two separate things.
I've come to notice that too.
I think the comedians we tend to love the purists, the people that are just good writers, dark, clever, unique,
original.
You know what I'm saying? But the audiences, they like McDonald's. They like the person with the generic, you know.
Yeah.
That's what they like. And every now and then you get the act that's kind of like we are, that happens to be commercially successful. But it doesn't happen a lot. You know, most people that like on our side of the scale don't really see the financial windfalls.
Does that frustrate you?
Yeah. yeah, it does.
Because you've been through the grind. Like you say, you've been doing this for more than 20 years. How many years?
About 22, 23 years. Yeah.
Right. You're like a very refined exact act. And then I'm not trying to like toot your horn or anything. Like you should have like a Netflix special.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? You're not still developing. Like you're done
with the
a while ago. Yeah. Like, of course, you can always get better.
I can get better.
But like the current state of yours is really, really refined and polished, right? But yet there's a difference between being good and being commercially successful.
Yeah.
Or having doors open for you. Yeah.
I mean, the black skin is not a help.
It's not. Yeah.
And maybe my, whatever it is, and then. Netflix comes like when and they said it. They come when you're hot. You know, they come when with blackness, you have to be on a white platform. You got to be the best of blackness. You know what I'm saying?
They allow two per decade.
So what?
They allow 2 black people per decade.
They come like, so white people do a thing where they kind of like a boiling pot, right? And they'll look over in it like who's at the top, and they'll come and skim off the best of it. You know, and give those 1 or 2 people that have risen up through the blackness, opportunity.
It's very similar for Asians.
They do the same thing with Asians.
I realized that a few years ago, I was talking to this like white comic I met at like an open mic, and we were just chatting. And then at the time, Ellie Wan released like her first special, and then very successful, the first one, which is a good special. And he's like, are you worried like Ellie Wan is like so popular right now?
And you're not gonna have a chance for 30 years.
I'm like, why am I worried? I'm happy for her. It's like, yeah, but like she's the Asian female comic. I'm like, are you worried Bill Burr is crushing it?
That's crazy. No, because whiteness is expensive.
But like he didn't mean like, negative or malice, but he's like saying the real thing. It's like, for me, I don't have to worry about Bill Burr's crushing it, Louis crushing it, because I'm white. Like, there's going to be a lot of me. But for you, if Ali Wan didn't, get hit by a car, like, what is it ever for you? Because that's the one.
In blackness, it's
so you better pray Kevin Hart get hit by a car.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Like, here's the thing. Even though me and Kevin are 2 different shades of blackness, he's... You know what I'm saying? He's commercially successful. He's a big personality. Yeah. He's just that, walking.
He's a host.
He walks in the room and just opens the place up. Me, I'm way more nuanced and, subtlety and kind of like on a different spectrum. So it's getting, so my comedy, being a purist as a urban, like that's how I'm different. Like I'm different, but I'm different in the sense that everything black is social, right? It's all about, black people are not necessarily about being funny as much as they will laugh if you fit into the social setting. Like if you went to do Chocolate Sundays and we were writing your set, I would be more or less trying to write a set that I felt like could fit the social norms of what blackness is.
Yeah.
Not to have you sell out, but just to let the people know you understand and you're meeting them halfway.
Yeah.
So coming from a white space of working with doing white clubs at first, I didn't understand how socially dominated black people were, and how much you have to subscribe to the social inventory of things before they start to accept you. And then I had to like, okay, damn, I gotta not be an artist, and I gotta just kind of be the guy they might like. How do I figure out how to be that, and then start adding art back to it? So yeah, I think that's what prolonged my process. It's not really understanding my audience that I was going to eventually be in front of. Now I get it. Now I understand them more. Now I can write and kind of curate material, and then like now catching up, artistically. So eventually I can be the best black and maybe get Netflix or something like that.
Why are black people so funny?
You said what?
Why are black people so funny?
Why were they so funny?
Yeah.
They're all animated. I don't know. They're just big personalities.
Is it because of the rhythm and cadence of your speech, or because of the pain, like you said, there are a lot of material to extract from? Or just you guys are considered cooler?
I don't think, I'm going to say this, I don't think all black people are funny.
Not all black people, but like I've known some
there's
really
a lot of
good black comics, like not famous at all, but like I know like more than a dozen, like just in LA, really good. Yeah.
I don't think black people are more funny.
Statistically,
I don't think they're more creative. I think we have more big personalities, and I think we push personality. What I push comedians to do when I talk to them is still to find nuance and find subtlety. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're on a show, when I'm on a show with a bunch of blacks and everybody is big and over the top, it numbs the crowd to it. You see too many black people in a row and they're all big smile, big eyes.
I appreciate that you don't have a joke about how your mom whooped your ass.
I did.
You did. Every black.
But the way to stand out as an artist is to find a thing that no one else is doing and then do that and then be good. So I challenge the blacks to present more nuance, to be more like subtlety, and then have levels, be able to go down and then come back up and understand things, not just be over the top, all nigga all the time.
I like that joke you said about how to make single mother pussy wet.
Funny. Like, you got to bash that.
I can't stand a man who doesn't take care of their kids. I can't stand.
I wouldn't, How dare
and you're like, make that pussy wet.
Yeah. So, but that's how these people that's how they communicate. And if I walked in a room, with people that actively, regularly, this is how my people communicate. This is how they communicate. Now, when you put my set and my verbiage on a YouTube, for the world to see, where some white kid is in an office looking at it, it looks out of place. But if you're there that night and you see me talking to people that talk like that, it makes sense.
Interesting.
But if you pull it if we watch the set right now and it's in this clinical space where both of us are sober, it's like it seems.
No, it's still really funny because usually comedy doesn't. I would say when you watch a clip, it's only 70% as funny as when you were alive.
Okay.
There's a diminishment. Like that applies to all comics, even the good ones. Because I've seen Louis C.K. live. I've seen Louis C.K.'s the same taped show afterwards, and it's not as funny as it live. And I've never really seen you like live. I'm seeing you.
You got to see me live.
But even those clips are really funny. I can only imagine if I'm sitting in the crowd.
When I first got to LA, I saw Andrew Dice Clay. I had never seen him live.
I don't get that guy. I still don't. Can you explain to me what's the deal with that guy? Like, I don't get it. There are a few people I just don't get. I don't get Seinfeld.
You don't get Seinfeld?
No.
You talking about word inventory?
Yeah, but he's so boring.
Yeah.
It's like
you like flavor. You need some flavor.
I did.
So what do you not like about Andrew Dice?
I don't dislike him. I just don't understand. Like, to me, it's all bravado. It's all like, hey, look at me, whatever.
Bow, bada bing. Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like his set kind of put me on a trance of just like, it's just like a shell. Like there's no, to me, like it's just like a rhythm. There's no substance.
Like a meathead.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, da 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 da, and her pussy stinks. Blah 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 blah. You know, you gotta slap those bitches around. Blah blah. That's just like, that's why I don't remember any single joke of his. For me, it's just a blur and that, right?
For me, it's the commitment.
But I never seen him live.
So
those are videos.
You gotta. Yeah. So it's the. We're all insane, right? We're all crazy. Some of us get lucky enough to develop fan bases that allow us to explore our insanity, right? It's all unhealthy stuff. All this stuff is unhealthy and toxic insanity. So that's what I look for when I'm watching an artist. I'm looking for, what kind of relationship do they have with their insanity? And are they trying to pretend like they're not? Like, are they trusting it? Are they revealing it to me? Are they disclosing it? Are they hiding it? You know what I'm saying? We all got that nutbag, that craziness in us. How well can you communicate that to the people and tell the people your secrets without them feeling like they're hearing your secrets?
Right. So you think Dice Clay
I think
is
he
very
does.
good at
I think
doing
he
that?
just kind of, like, I don't think he believes most of the shit he says. I think he just can't believe that he found a fanship, just a nutbag of a guy. And he was like, oh, fuck, you guys like this shit?
Yeah.
And was like, well, I could do hour of that. And just was like, just did more and more and more and developed that character and everything on top of, the plate of.
Is he one of your biggest influences? Who are your influences?
I mean, I watched him, and to just watch him work and watch him create in that space. And how do you get worse? Because you have to be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I fucked her and I put my thumb in her booty hole. And I put my finger in her pussy, thumb, and I made her suck dookie off my, I nutted her. Like, how do you get, how do you shock people year after year and still, that's the art. Like you're doing porn, and then you're like, now we're gonna bring goats in, and then we're gonna bring chicken. Like then it just gets worse, and still be creative and still be artistic. You said who do I watch?
Or early heroes or whatever people you still look
Eddie.
up to.
I watched the Eddie do characters. Tommy Davidson.
You mean Eddie Murphy or Eddie Griffin?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Okay.
I love to listen to him with just the voice control.
Tommy Davidson. Tommy Davidson is really urban.
Huh?
Tommy Davidson he does the my mom with my ass joke the best.
His act outs, his just all over the place, energy, and he could be clean, and you don't even feel like, even if he's dirty, you don't
I've
feel
seen
it.
him a lot on Def Jam.
Yeah, he's very funny. Jim Gaffigan, I liked.
That's surprising.
Doing the with the Popeyes days or the Hot Pocket days. The Hot Pocket, when he was first kind of breaking with the Hot Pocket jokes.
That's another guy who I don't get.
Jim Gaffigan?
Yeah, he's funny on podcasts.
I liked Louis C.K.'s early stuff, like when he was still kind of raw.
You don't like his recent stuff? I love his recent stuff though.
The graduation funny, like before the real fame, kind of like the hungry,
like
funny.
Hilarious, chewed up, like those.
Yeah,
those
like
specials?
those kind of like when the people are first starting to come out to see you, and you're cocooning from, oh, this is working.
Yeah.
And like, how do I push these people to where now you're just sitting there with your dick out and everybody's accepting it. It's a different thing than.
I like you say Louis C.K.
Yeah. So
remind me of just a sidetrack. Like
what?
Game of Thrones once hired a bunch of rappers to do like a rap album for Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And there's one guy, he clearly has never watched Game of Thrones.
Funny.
He keeps saying, "My boy Tyrion." It's Tyrion.
Could give a fuck.
This track's for my boy Tyrion. Sorry, keep going.
I liked
Louis.
So watching his early stuff,
Yeah.
just watching somebody's as they kind of you see them. I like Yvonne Orji's first.
Who?
Yvonne Orji.
Oh, I actually don't know who that is.
Her first Netflix special was really good. Maria Bamford, I watched a lot of her.
Yeah, that's another person I don't get. She's very well respected.
Maria Bamford?
Yeah.
Creatively, voice-wise, artistically, just being a nut, just being crazy, just seeing her, knowing she's just disconnected. Her mind is just disconnected. You know, she needs a handler. She needs someone helping her to buy groceries.
She's like a village witch energy.
Whatever it is, when she grabs a microphone and speaks into it, the magic is there.
Interesting.
You know, is the magic there when you like? I like to think you're a nutbag when you leave the stage. Like this is somebody who's absolutely psychotic, and they barely got themselves to the stage. And now they're just feeding us the demon that's inside of them.
Like I said, village witch.
And then when they go away, they have to go somewhere and be chained and locked away until they get to...
She has energy of like, she would drip like rooster blood to perform a ritual of some sort to cleanse your soul.
Yeah, but she's going to tell you about it for an hour and you're going to have you crying laughing at her...
Interesting.
Whatever.
I got to get into her stuff. Like, I just don't...
Who do you listen to?
Eddie Murphy is one of my biggest influences.
Okay.
Because that's the first stand-up special I ever watched. I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was introduced to this art form. Chris Rock. I really like Chris Rock. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris Rock. Dave Chappelle. The two specials before he disappeared.
Okay.
For What It's Worth and Killing Me Softly.
Okay.
I don't think any of his special ever trumped those two.
After he came back?
Yeah. They're good, but not even close. Not even close. Louis C.K. really like Louis. Bill Burr.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when Bill Burr was doing black comedy because he was on Comic View. He was an urban comic at first.
Yeah, he wrote for the Chappelle Show and he was hanging with like Donnell Rollins.
Yeah.
Charlie Murphy,
And then the whites allowed him to come back.
Yes.
He got accepted back into white heaven. They rarely do that. They rarely do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he a race trader? And they just what? Was he treated like a race trader? Was it allowed back?
I don't think he stayed long enough in urban setting to not go home. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a black wife, and I think
I have a poster.
That's Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And white people watch themselves in blackness as a form of initiation. Like if you watch Matt Rife's special, there's a black guy rapping his introduction.
It's not just him. There's a group of New York comics bros.
So
they
it
all
was so
talk
odd
like
to me
that.
to watch this special where it's like this black guy, like, this is the hardest motherfucker coming out in the game right now. And then Matt walks out and there's no black people in the crowd. Like it's an all white audience. I was like, what the fuck was the black guy? And like, you know what I'm saying? It's like almost like white people reward other white people that have survived the fire of blackness. I don't know if you remember when Russell Peters did HBO Def Jam.
Russell Peters is the most famous stand-up comedian in Asia, in China.
Okay.
Nobody knows Jerry Seinfeld outside of like comedy fans.
They know Russell Peters.
Everyone knows Russell Peters.
So yeah, they was like, okay, well, we gotta let everybody know the blacks like you too. You know what I'm saying? It's like they use black people and us as like they're like, okay, if the blacks laugh, then
it's like a near your sword.
You said what?
It's like
they reward white comics that can play black rooms, but they don't reward black comics.
Interesting, because that's the default. Because that's the default.
I'm like, oh, I play these rooms all the time. Where's my fucking? Well, you black like them, so like, oh fuck.
You know what? My boyfriend one time he was wearing a pair of shoes, and a black guy, just a random black guy, said, "Oh, that's a cool shoes." He was bragging about it for 3 weeks. He said, "A black guy said I have cool shoes."
Made his 3 weeks. So I spend my days trying not to do that. Like I spend my days avoiding well-meaning white people.
Yeah. So, but if you're black, just against your will, just tell some white guys your shoes are cool, even if it's not. You will make their month. It takes so little from you, but that badge of honor, that seal of
this is gonna be
approval.
This is gonna be a clip. This is gonna be a clip.
You gotta. Maybe It takes just lie. So what? He's wearing a pair of Converse that's dirty and hasn't been washed for 3 weeks. Just say, oh my god.
Give him the black seal of approval.
Yeah, or say your shoes look fresh. Use some black lingo so he really believes you. Yeah. Where'd you cop that?
Okay,
Yeah.
so did we get enough today?
Yeah. Yeah.